I'm clapping for Mike Perry. Mike Perry was right. Mike Perry proved everybody wrong, including me. I apologize, Mike Perry. I was a hater. My last video, I was talking mad about Mike Perry's mental space, but I was smart to put my money on Mike Perry. Turns out Bovada does have an option where I can cash out of my bet. And I said, fuck it, why not? Let me just see. I'm not betting for the money anymore. To be honest, it's a hobby. I've lost so much money betting. I'm getting better at it though, so watch out. First off, Mike Perry did a phenomenal job. He walked down Mickey Gall the whole fight. In his face the whole time, throwing bombs, taking a little bit. Mickey Perry, he did okay with his little boxing. It was slick, had a little sting on it. Didn't affect Mike Perry too much. Mike Perry took him to the ground. Mike Perry dominated on the ground. Mickey Gall tried to take Mike Perry down, and Mike Perry is just a powerful dude. He was flipping dude. He was just dominating dude. Like I said, I don't like Mickey Gall. Mickey Gall picks his fights and he can't even finish them, alright? Mickey Gall shouldn't be in the UFC in my opinion. Keep him as a gatekeeper. He doesn't deserve a co-main event. Mike Perry did. Not only is Mike Perry an entertainer, but he is a phenomenal athlete, right? First off, Mike Perry is a genius. A lot of people sleep on Mike Perry. A lot of people don't think that man knows what he's doing. Mike Perry knows what the fuck he's doing. Mike Perry, I just watched this interview, this post-fight interview. And Mike Perry was talking about how he knew Mickey Gall would be working on his boxing because his boxing was looking better during the Diego Sanchez fight. And you know what? You could tell that Mickey Gall was working on his boxing because Mickey Gall's boxing, it was there. If I was in front of Mickey Gall, I would try to take him to the ground because honestly, he'd be outboxing me. So that was good. Now let's talk about the thing that everybody wants to talk about, the whole corner situation. Before this fight, to me, in my eyes, having a corner was a must. It was a mandatory. It didn't matter who the people were, you had to have a corner. After this fight, that's totally different. Mike Perry has opened my eyes. You need to be self-aware. Mike Perry is self-aware. He understands that, first off, he's paying people to yell at him. Half of these people, they don't have the experience. Half of these people haven't been in the octagon. Half of these people have never taken a full hit to the face. And he also understands, why the fuck am I paying another person to ice my back? Do I need that? No. Right? Mike Perry's fight experience has single-handedly won him this fight. Nobody won this fight except for Mike Perry. His girlfriend was there to support him. Shout out to his girlfriend. Good for you. Mike Perry did that shit. This interview with Mike Perry showed me a lot of things. The show purse versus the win bonus. You didn't get paid to show up. Mickey Gall got paid. He got paid for showing up. He didn't get paid for winning. Mike Perry got paid for winning and showing up. Mickey Gall, he had a corner behind him. He had a game plan. He had code words. And those three things, they did not help him against Mike Perry. Mike Perry, he had what he said. He said grits, wit, whatever. I don't know. He had experience. Mike Perry had experience. Mike Perry was self-aware, and Mike Perry knew what to do. Mike Perry was comfortable throughout the whole fight. I think in the back of my head, I can think of moments where Mike Perry was chilling, standing in front of him, just figuring out, okay, what's next. During Mike Perry's interview, he talked about John Viante's corner and how his corner was like, yo, what are you doing? Wake up. Do this, do that. And Mike Perry was self-aware to realize that if someone was talking to him like that, it wouldn't have helped him. And I know a lot of people wouldn't help. Depending who the person is, it wouldn't help me. So people need to be aware of who their corners are and how their corners are going to react to that pressure, and if their corners have that experience. Because if their corners don't have that experience and they're just saying random things, you're going to put your fighter in a compromising position. That's what Giovante's coaches did. I'll give you another great example. I was looking at these comments at this YouTube video. Shout out to the Mac Life. I could have watched the ESPN or UFC's video, but the Mac Life, they popped up on my YouTube thing. And I was watching Mike Perry's interview, and I looked at the comments, and people were talking about Eddie's wife and how Eddie's wife was always screaming, Eddie, Eddie, Eddie. And that got me thinking about Eddie. His fight with, who was Eddie fighting? His fight with Dustin Poirier, right? You guys know that moment. Eddie was beating Dustin. He was mounted on him on the cage. And all of a sudden, Eddie starts throwing elbows. 12 to 6 elbows. Boom. Boom. These are legal. I forgot who the referee was at the time, but the referee split him up, got him up, said, hey, bro, you can't do that. You're a fighter. You can't do that. These are illegal. Don't do that shit again. I broke you guys up because that's illegal. Don't do it again. He said, fight. Eddie Alvarez and Dustin Poirier, they got back together, and Dustin Poirier put away Eddie Alvarez. Now, Eddie Alvarez has been around for a minute. I've been around for a minute. I know you don't throw these elbows. You know why you don't throw these elbows? You know how I know? Because I watched John Bones Jones get disqualified for throwing these elbows. So Eddie, you should know not to throw these elbows. You're a UFC fighter. They go over the rules and the regulations before. So why would that pop up in your head? It's because you listen to your corner. If you watch that video, Eddie is on top mountain, hitting, looks over. His coach is like, Eddie. And so Eddie goes, yeah, you're right. Boom. Eddie's corner cost him that fight. Eddie took the whole blame. If you watch the videos and you pay attention though, Eddie's corner costed him that. Because Eddie got the wrong people. Eddie's coaches didn't even know the UFC fight. They're here to coach Eddie, but they don't know the rules. If you don't know the rules, you don't know how to fight, you've never been in the octagon, you don't know fight strategy, why are you getting paid? If I was Eddie, I would not pay that corner. You just took away my win bonus. You took away money from my purse. You're not taking away any more money from me. I'm not giving you the show, I'm not giving you any of my show purse. Mike Perry has received all the credit for this fight, as he should, because he did it all by himself. He did not need a coach to tell him to do X, Y, and Z. He did not need a coach who didn't know what they're doing to tell him X, Y, and Z. He didn't need a coach to tell him something that would compromise him and maybe the potential upper hand he had. And he didn't need a coach to tip off the fighter that he's fighting against. And Mike Perry is brilliant for that. Mike Perry's talking about building the Platinum Martial Arts. And honestly, I think it's a good idea. Mike Perry needs to build a brand for himself because he knows what he's doing, despite what a lot of people say. Mike Perry is genius. People sleep on Mike Perry because he says what he wants to say, in that he has this character attached to himself. I was a hater of Mike Perry's. I'm a fan of Mike Perry. I know Mike Perry doesn't like fans. I'm sorry, Mike Perry. I fuck with you. I apologize, bro. All these fighters, the most important thing is a fighter's mind, right? It's the same at the end of the day. I was worried about Mike Perry's fighting mind state. He's okay. But everybody comes with the ego and everybody comes with confidence. And that's including the coaches. They come in and they yell at you. They tell you things that they think should work. They're not throwing those punches. They don't know how those punches come off your body. And so, at the end of the day, yelling, money, and attention are problems that come with coaches and corners that sometimes you don't need. I love corners because at the end of the day, there's some brilliant people that if you have in your corner and they tell you something, that's the recipe. A great fighter like Mike Perry with a great corner is a recipe for success, right? But Mike Perry is great on his own. He doesn't need that. He has all this fight experience. All Mike Perry needs is a great camp, himself, his girlfriend, and another fighter as a corner, because another fighter has that experience. And you know what? I like that recipe too. That's what I would like. I would like a fighter who's been in the octagon, my girlfriend, because I don't need somebody else to put ice on my back. Why would I pay someone else to put ice on my back? And maybe a fight coach, but that fight coach better have fight experience himself. I'm excited for Mike Perry. He's talking about going to train with Yoel Romero and getting ready for a Darren Till fight. And you know what? Darren Till, you better be careful because Mike Perry has shown that he's dangerous by himself. Yoel Romero is a class act. So if he gets with him, he starts training with him, that's going to be crazy. And if Yoel Romero becomes Mike Perry's corner, that's even worse. So, Mike Perry, I apologize. You did great. Thank you for winning me my money. And shout out to Mike Perry's girlfriend. You did your thing.